Welcome in the second semester. My name is Dr. Rangnath Kole, and in this semester I am going to teach you the paper second of physics. The name of paper is electricity and magnetism. Okay. Now this paper contains total 5 chapters. The first chapter is electrostatics, second is dielectric, third magnetization, fourth magnetostatics, and last one is magnetic properties of material. So in first chapter the name is electrostatic. So in this chapter we have to study mainly Coulomb's law and Gauss law, right? So if we consider the electrostatic, electro means electricity and statics means stationary or at rest. That means here we have to consider the charges at rest position. When the charges at rest position, then these charges are called point charges. The point charges means the size of the charges is less than the distance between two charges. Okay. So in electrostatic we have to study the electricity or electric charges at rest. So it is called as the electrostatics. Now this chapter begins with the study of Coulomb's law. That means revision of Coulomb's law. Right? Now, so here we first study Coulomb's law. Okay? First we give the statement of Coulomb's law. This Coulomb's law is applicable for 2 point charges, and these point charges at rest position. So they are also called as the point charges and they are at rest position. So in this Coulomb's law gives the force of attraction or repulsion between the two charges at rest position. Okay. So first we give the statement. You listen carefully. The statement of Coulomb's law: the force of attraction or repulsion between 2 point charges at rest is directly proportional to the product of magnitude of 2 charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Right? So here we consider 2 point charges at rest. So we take here Q1 is one charge and Q2 is other charge, and these two charges are separated by finite distance, say r. We take the distance between these two charges is, say, r. Right? This Q1 may be positive or negative. This Q2 may be positive or negative. So we can say that the force exerted by one charge to other charge or other charge to this first charge may be of attractive or repulsive nature. Right? Now here these charges are separated by distance r. Then according to Coulomb's law, that means according to statement of Coulomb's law, first we can say that the force of attraction or repulsion between two charges at rest is directly proportional to the product of magnitude of two charges. That means if we write here, this is the product of magnitude of two charges, that is Q1, Q2. Right? Then we take the force by letter F. That means force is denoted by letter F. So according to first statement, we can write this force is directly proportional to the product of magnitude of these two charges. That means we write here F directly proportional to Q1, Q2. Now, according to second statement, the force of attraction or repulsion between these two point charges at rest is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So here we write this F is directly proportional to 1 upon R square. Right? So combining these two equations, we can write F directly proportional to Q1 Q2 upon R square. Now here we introduce the constant of proportionality by letter beta. So I write here F equal to beta Q1 Q2 upon R square, where this beta is constant of proportionality, as so called as the Coulomb's constant. Right? So we write the force of attraction or repulsion between these two charges at rest is F equal to beta Q1 Q2 upon R square. Right? Now this beta, which is called as the constant of proportionality, and it has the value right here, beta equal to 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12 Coulomb square per Newton meter square. Right? So further we write the value of beta. Right? So we write here beta equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Then this equation, that means force becomes F equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square. Here this epsilon naught is called as the permittivity of free space or vacuum. That means here we write epsilon naught equal to permittivity of free space or vacuum. Right? Permittivity of free space. Free space means here we have to substitute these two charges in free space or vacuum. Right? Now we write here the value of this epsilon naught. For free space, this value is epsilon naught equal to 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12 Coulomb square per Newton meter square. Right? When we substitute the value of epsilon naught in this equation, that is in the equation of beta. So this 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught total value we have to write here. Now if we substitute value of epsilon naught here, and here is 4 pi. So total calculation we get 8.98 into 10 raised to 9 Newton meter square per Coulomb square. So totally we write here this 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught equal to 9 into 10 raised to 9 Newton meter square per Coulomb square. Right? So this equation, that means to write here the value of force, that means F equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square. So this is the force between 2 point charges at rest in free space or vacuum. Now suppose these two charges are placed in a medium. We can take any medium, and when we place these two charges in medium, then force between these two charges, that can be written as F equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 upon R square. Right? Here this epsilon is called as the permittivity of the medium. Okay? So right here this epsilon equal to permittivity of medium. Right? So this is the Coulomb's law in medium, and this is Coulomb's law in free space or vacuum. Now, if you take the ratio of permittivity of medium to the permittivity of free space, then this ratio gives a constant called as the dielectric constant, and it is denoted by letter K. Right? So, here write is K equal to epsilon upon epsilon naught. Okay? So, the ratio of permittivity of medium to the permittivity of free space is called dielectric constant K. Right? Now here the ratio of these two quantities is same. That means it is the ratio of two same quantities. So it is a pure number. Is pure number. It has no dimension and unit. That means if we consider about K, that is the dielectric constant, it is the ratio of pure quantities. So this is a pure number and it has no dimension and unit. Okay? Then next we consider the vector representation of Coulomb's law. Right? So next point is vector representation of Coulomb's law. So in order to write Coulomb's law in vector form, we have to consider some notations, and these notations are, first we write F12 bar, that is force acting on charge Q1 due to Q2. Right? It is F12 bar means force acting on first charge due to second charge, or on charge Q1 due to Q2. The second is F21 bar is equal to force acting on charge Q2 due to Q1. So this is same. You write here Q2 due to Q1. Right? Then R12 bar. R12 bar means displacement measured from charge Q1 to charge Q2. So right here, displacement measured from charge Q1 to charge Q2. Right? Then next you write R21 bar. So for this you write the similar, only you have to change here displacement measured from charge Q2 to Q1. Okay? So this is similar, and only change is from charge Q2 to charge Q1. Okay? Then next notation is R12 cap. This R12 cap is called as the unit vector and it is along the direction of R21 bar. That means it is unit vector along R12 bar. Next is R21 cap and it is unit vector along the direction R21 bar. So we change here only R21 bar and this word is same or this sentence is same, right? Then last one is the R, and R is the distance between two charges. Okay, so right here this is the distance between two charges. So that is R equal to mod R12 bar equal to mod R21 bar. Okay, so with this notation, that means F12 bar, F21 bar, R12 bar, R21 bar, R12 cap, R21 cap, and this R. With this notation, you are going to represent Coulomb's law in vector form. Now, in next lecture, we can see the force between two unlike charges and force between two like charges. So, with this lecture, I stop here. Have a good day. Okay.